Hey everyone, Rusty here with Clockwork Owl Games. I wanted to make a video that detailed a little bit more background on our live play recorded D&D sessions that we're putting on this channel, Adventures of Iridia. Realizing that we started posting about 15, 16 sessions into our actual campaign, and that left a lot of people who were jumping into it out of the loop on what was actually transpiring. So the point of this video is going to be a little bit different format. Probably a little bit more scatterbrained, so I apologize in advance. But it's just going to cover what happened between sessions 1 and sessions 14, who the characters are, and what the world setting that they are in is about. So sit back. I'm probably going to flash some different maps or pictures on the screen to help supplement this, because it's just going to be a lot of me talking. So just hang out, and hopefully it's informational for all of you. So, our campaign is set in the world of Iridia, a world dealing with the aftermath of an event called the Sundering. Gods fought on the material plane, and the land was scarred in the process. During this war, the creator of the realm, Aurora, did battle with the great serpent-like deity named Nex, but he proved a difficult foe. In a final desperate attempt, Aurora sacrificed herself to destroy Nex, freeing the land of Iridia of his influence, as well as hers. However, in the 600 years since their disappearance, their influence remains. New converts are being added, divinely given powers continue to strengthen, and the world itself seems to shift from a myriad of invisible forces. Our players begin their journey in this world in the small fishing village of Ugin. The village healer, Iridia, is an old druid who is in tune with the earth. But something has started to disturb the balance of nature. A young green dragon has taken up residence in one of the ruins a few miles outside of town, and upon seeing this, Iridia hired our party to go and defeat this dragon, or at the very least scare it off. It is here we are introduced to our party. Kenya, an elven druid with a haunted past of being unable to control her powers and leaving her tribe after a terrible accident. Corvum Bladeworks, a tiefling warlock, serving a patron by the name of Hamal, the Silver Hand. Diana, a human monk seeking to gain peace and purpose through her monastic studies, but try as she might, there is still an empty void in her soul. And Loston, an elven bard with a tragic past that she is buried under alcohol and wanderlust. This group of colorful but inexperienced adventurers made their way to the Overcrow ruins where this dragon threat loomed. Stealthing up to the ruins, they found the dragon, later known as Rivaleth, having conversations with members of the cult of Nex. A fight ensued, the dragon was slain, and the leader of this group was interrogated. Our party discovered that this cult group wanted to gain knowledge from Rivaleth, and then returned to the small mining town of Bayham, where they had found an artifact of Nex buried deep within the earth. One of the cult members defected and offered to help the party since he was a native to Bayham in exchange for his freedom. The party agreed, collected their reward from Iridia, and made their way to Bayham, which was about a week's journey. Fast forwarding through their travel, they arrived in Bayham by night and took a stealthy approach to the entrance of the town's mine. The mine was guarded by these twisted creatures that had snake-like features and elements due to their corruption from serving Nex. The party fought through the mine and found a room with strange symbols painted around a pool of blood. The party killed the cult leader and stopped the ritual that would have consumed the lives of all of the captured townsfolk. After searching through the carnage, they ended up finding a golden staff bearing resemblance and markings of Nex. The monk, Diana, took this weapon as a gilded quarterstaff. But as you can imagine, the item is incredibly cursed and began to take a hold on Diana's psyche. The party also discovered an ancient teleportation circle that led to Tekilda, a powerful city to the east, high in the mountains, and Samor, the capital city of the continent of Iridia. Having no magic to utilize these portals, they decided to make their way to Tekilda after they finished re-establishing order in Bayham. Several days passed. They were able to get some rest, and provisions were provided for their short journey to Tekilda. After traveling for several days, they arrived in Tekilda, which rests in the bowl of a massive caldera on top of an ancient volcano. And they made their way to a large arcane tower sitting next to a lake. Inquiring at the tower complex led to a meeting with Cassandra Delvive, the High Archmage of Tekilda and the Tower of Moodrust. Cassandra determined that the information that the party provided was of enough importance to speak to the Queen directly, and she teleported them to the steps of the Queen's citadel. However, before they could meet with her, an intense rumbling shook the entire city as several huge worms burst forth from the ground and started attacking. The party quickly rallied with the guards of Tekilda and fought off the incursion. And after the battle, an inspection revealed that the carcasses of these creatures had a large ruby-like gem embedded in their skulls. The High Archmage, Cassandra, stated that she would take this into her care and study it, but that the party should go ahead and discuss their previous findings with the council and any ideas on how to potentially stop this threat happening in Tekilda. After a discussion with the Queen, Iridia, she offered them 50,000 gold pieces and a leftover keep within the city walls if they managed to stop this threat. After the sticker shock wore off, the party agreed and began preparations to make their way into the Glass Caldera, the mining center of Tekilda's economy. They were also joined by a new companion, Osadi, an Air Genasi cleric of the Church of Aurora, who would support them through their perilous quest. While they were preparing, Corvum started to take a liking to Cassandra and wanted to make it known to her. Cassandra appreciated the earnest attempt, but was more focused on protecting her city during this time of duress. After this, they finalized their battle plan, and the party ventured deep into the mines of the Glass Caldera. Fast-forwarding through a couple of events, after several near-fatal encounters with all manner of these creatures, they came upon a deep underground ravine that spanned thousands of feet. Investigating along it led to a massive planar rift that led to the elemental earth plane. They realized that the creatures that were attacking Tekilda were coming from this portal, and they needed to control it or destroy it. But they decided to put a pin in that as they circled back to a point of interest that they found earlier in the ravine. What appeared to be a crashed alien vessel. After bravely entering the structure, they found a strange creature with multiple eyes, massive bipedal forearms, and tiny vestigial arms that dangled beneath its torso. This creature spoke to them telepathically and stated that it meant them no harm as long as they could provide support in helping it leave this plane. However, discerning the true nature of this entity, the party decided to act quickly in dispatching this foe. But if only it were that simple. The party members sustained heavy damage before finally killing this entity, only to find that it transferred its consciousness to a trapped black dragon in its lab. A phase 2 of the fight ensued, with multiple members going unconscious and fighting to keep their lives. But they emerged victorious. Barely. Calling upon their ally, Cassandra, they were able to ascertain that this creature is part of a race called Qatari, alien space wizards that pilot ships across the astral sea and beyond. It seemed that this particular Qatari had crashed deep within the Glass Caldera several decades ago, and began controlling the creatures pouring out of the Earth Planar Rift in order to create an army. The party decided before leaving that their friend Kenia, a druid from an Earth-centric tribe, should attempt to close the Planar Rift. What started as a simple ritual and meditation quickly shifted into a waking dream walk that took Kenia to an ashen realm filled with the bodies of dead warriors from an ancient battle. She saw a pillar of light and ran to it, arriving just as a massive serpent snapped at her heels. In this pillar of light was the visage of a woman, dark-skinned and eyes aglow with radiant power. Aurora, the progenitor and savior of Iridia, stood before Kenia. She told Kenia that if she could find the broken blade of Iridia in the tomb of Avalas, there may be a way to bring Aurora back into the material plane. Returning from her dream walk, the party took this information to the Queen and the latent church of Aurora in Tekilda. They were rewarded by the Queen with their 50,000 gold piece bounty and access to a keep in the local area, with basic repairs to be covered by the Queen's royal funds. And so, the party rested for a few weeks, reveling in their victory and newfound companionship as a true adventuring group. Though, yes, they had had their squabbles, there was really something special here, and they all agreed to continue to move forward as a group. Even so, sinister forces and old wounds continued to move in the background. A serpentine voice speaks to Diana, promising power and reward for unlocking the secrets of the golden staff she carries. A dark past continues to haunt Loston. Did she truly aid in massacring a royal family decades ago? Can Kenya find forgiveness from her tribe after a childhood accident where she lost control of a power she does not understand? Will Corvum be able to uncover the secrets of his brother's past and his connection to the Crimson Hunt, a monster hunting guild that has skipped town after murdering some Tikildan guards? And finally, Osadi, a cleric wrestling with the news that his long-silent god is alive and attempting to return to the realm. On the horizon for the party is the Platinum Auction in the capital city of Samor, where Cassandra has asked that they be her personal escorts and guards at the event. And that is where we are today. There are plenty of details I left out, but I didn't want this to be a 3-hour video and was just trying to keep the major plot points to get you up to speed. We've obviously recorded several sessions since the point that I just mentioned, but to go ahead and give you a little insight into some of those earlier episodes while we were still trying to figure some things out, episode 14 is a party brawl session, so there's less story, but it does give you a feel of how our table likes to interact with each other, and there are some story elements at the very end to keep track of. Episode 15 gets back to the main plot points as my players continue to discover the world before them. And as far as episode 16 and on is concerned, you're just going to have to watch to find out what happened. But thanks for sitting here and listening to me talk for the past few minutes. I hope it was helpful to you to catch you up on what has happened in our campaign so far, and I hope you stay tuned with us as we continue to explore this world. Thanks. Have a great day.